Okay guys, it's Joe Ditzel. I'm in the Golf Learning Center, and today I'm going to respond to multiple requests that you guys have been giving me about how to hit a sand wedge using the bounce. Not necessarily just a sand wedge, but how to hit short pitch shots from tight lies using the bounce of the sand wedge or lob wedge. And we're going to go over that today. As you can see, it's snow on the ground outside, but we have plenty of open stations here at the Golf Learning Center. If you want to get more tips, come on down and you can take one of our stations and we'll give you some advice here in person. But for this video, let's just keep it short and sweet. And first of all, for you total beginners, let's talk about what the bounce is. The bounce is the bottom of the sand wedge or lob wedge, which protrudes lower than the leading edge, much lower than, say, a 5-iron. The reason it's made that way is so that it slides along the ground when the bounce is used, rather than digging in like the leading edge does. If you see golfers taking a divot with their 7-iron, for example, that means that their leading edge dug into the ground and lifted out part of the turf. The reason we're using the bounce is so that the club can slide under the ball really soft. And you get a nice high lob, and it lands softly, allowing you to go over objects like sprinklers, over bunkers, over water, over anything, or anytime you need a high, soft shot. The problem is that it also exposes the leading edge, so it's easier to blade the ball. What does that mean? That means that you can hit the equator of the ball, the middle of the ball, with the leading edge, and it rockets ahead about 80 miles an hour. So from personal experience, I can tell you this is not a good thing. For example, in Palm Springs, one time I was trying to use the bounce on a soft pitch shot. I hit it with the leading edge. It rocketed across the green and into a lake. In San Francisco, I tried the same shot. I hit the ball through these hedges into a lady's backyard and nearly hit her when she was gardening. In Ohio, I was trying the same shot, and I shot it into a foursome that was near us, and I almost hit this kid's foot. And despite the 20-year age difference, and he decided he wanted to fight me. Let me give you a tip. When other golfers want to fight you because of your gameplay, your skill, your shots, things that are happening on the course, I'm going to say avoid that shot in the future. So I personally don't use this a lot, but it's a useful shot in certain situations. Good golfers can even hit this shot off a very tight lie. Normally, I'd say avoid that unless there's a little cushion of grass that you can slide the ball under. But again, good players can hit it off of pavement, I've seen, using the bounce of their sand wedge or lob wedge. So because of all the emails and calls and everything that I'm getting to learn more about this topic, I decided to make this video. But despite that, I'm going to recommend that you avoid this shot unless you're willing to put it into practice. Again, as you can see here, there's plenty of stations open. We've got a lot of people going back to work after the holiday, and they don't have as much time to stop by the Golf Learning Center. But that allows you to drop in here and take a lesson as soon as you can or as soon as you want. So that is the very basics of using the bounce of your sand wedge and lob wedge. And all I would say is give it a lot of practice. And as you can see, the way I'm setting up here, this is the way you want to do it, right? You want to make sure that it looks a lot like this alignment that I'm showing here. And the reason that you want to do that, the reason you want to do it the way that I'm displaying it here, is that it allows the bounce to be exposed, and then you just need to practice enough to be able to slide that ball underneath, slide the club, I should say, underneath the ball without blading it and without endangering your personal safety by rocketing the ball into houses, lakes, other golfers, personal property, the clubhouse, surrounding cars. Anything that you might hit at high speed with this shot could be avoided. You may want to check your insurance before you use this club, and then also, before you use this shot, and then also check any kind of local laws or bylaws that have to do with property damage and or liability. So, but with that in mind, it's a very useful shot that will save you strokes. I would say if you can put in, probably a good rule of thumb is maybe 20 hours a week of practice on this one shot. I'm putting in probably 40 hours of practice a week just on this one shot. And putting, I put in about 40 hours. That's 80. And then sometimes I put in another 20 on the rest of the club. So not everybody has as much time as I do to practice their golf, practice their swing. And of course, I have the access here at the Golf Learning Center to use the facility. So if you don't have that kind of availability or time, I'm going to suggest at least 20 hours a week practicing using the bounce of your wedges. And then again, use the lineup just as I showed it right here. I hope this has been useful for you, and I hope it addresses a lot of the questions that people have been asking me on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube and all over social media. And in person, when at my live comedy shows, people come up to me all the time and ask me about this question about the bounce on the wedges. So I hope I've been helpful. Stop back again. We're going to have more training. And until then, I would encourage you to comment, like, and subscribe.